Rick Dollar here for the Rick Dollar Show, and thanks for listening today. We are with an esteemed guest this afternoon. Killer Bees is finally on the line. Killer, what's going on, brother?
Hey, buddy, good to hear your voice, man. Good to see the top part of your head.
Well, I mean,
Thank,
I
thank
could do
God for that hat.
sideways or however you want to do
Oh, wait a
it.
minute. Let me touch this thing that tells me recordings. Now, look, now I can see the whole, I got your whole mugshot up
Oh
now.
my gosh.
All right, you're going to have to bear with me. The power is out in the neighborhood. They're working on something with a transformer.
Yeah.
And so, well, we're building a moat around the house and we had to dig stuff up. So we're on battery power right now. I have a 3,000 watt battery that holds power indefinitely that I can solar charge. I've got
Wow.
three big old solar panels, three sets of solar panels that look like pterodactyl wings
Holy crap,
that I
dude.
spread out in the backyard when I need to. But you can also charge it from the wall. So they told me this morning they were going to cut the power out. So I just plugged it in and I've got probably 50 or 60 or 80 hours of this we can do.
Wow. That is
It's running
crazy.
my light system and all that stuff. So
Man,
that's kind of neat.
technology's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, it is. It only weighs 89 pounds. It's the size of a carry-on suitcase.
Where do
But
you
it's
find
portable.
stuff
It has
like this,
wheels
dude?
on it. It has wheels on it. So if I need to run it out to the driveway to boost the engine or something, so I'm hooked
Start your
up.
Tesla with it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So, well, man, it's
Wow.
good seeing you, buddy.
Yeah, man. Good to see you too. Now, you, dude, I think I met you like, I don't know, probably about 20 years ago. And I was
At a
looking
brewery, right?
at a brewery in
In
Bristol, Tennessee.
right, right.
Yeah. What was that? I can't even remember the name of the place, but we had
I don't
fun though, you
remember
know?
either, but we had a ball because we went all through the where the fermentation tanks are and all that stuff, and I pretended there's a rat running by. So so a good time was had by all.
A good
We'll just
time
put
was
it
had
that
by
way.
all. There ain't no doubt about that, man. Now you've been in comedy for 43 years, you're telling me. I had no idea that it had been that long. But
Yeah.
dude, I mean, kudos to you. Anybody that can do something 43 years and still have, half a brain left, you're doing great, you
Well,
know?
Rick, it has been a blessing. It
Yeah.
really has, dude, and it's been my life's work. And I was meant to do this. I've been funny since I was a little bitty baby. The
Mm-hmm.
first memories in my dome is from living. I was a toddler in a funeral home in Kosciuszko, Mississippi. My
Wow.
dad was a funeral director and an embalmer, and we lived in an apartment in the funeral home. And I had the run of the place. And as a toddler, I'd go up and down the hallways and would see all these sad people coming and go from where I lived. And I had no concept, of
Yeah.
life and death and funerals and stuff. But I remember, and it's my earliest memories, brother. I remember doing
Wow.
silly little cutesy stuff, and the crying people would stop crying and come over and smile and talk to me. And
Wow.
I think that that has fueled my compulsion my entire life to make people laugh and smile. So it's really been something I've been compelled to do, was wittiest all through school and all that. But I've been like this my whole life. If people find out that I'm just like this and it's not an act,
Yeah, really.
I'll be out of a job. So
Say, nah, it's too easy for him, you know?
yeah, we could get this at a cookout. Why do we need tickets?
Exactly. Oh my gosh. But and a lot of people are going to probably think, man, that was a great story that he just made up on the fly. But none of this is a story. It's all true. And
Yes,
your
it is.
lights just came back on, or my
Yeah, they
brain
did,
tumor came
man.
back. One of the two.
So there, yeah, yeah, right. That retina, my retina surgery finally wore off, healed. That's the word.
That's it, man. Wow. Now, you had a story about a place called the Abbeville Opera House.
Oh man, get
in
this.
in South Carolina. Is that right?
Right, Abbeville, South Carolina.
Yeah.
This has been probably 6 months ago, maybe 3 or 4. It's hard to keep up with time because I tour a lot.
Yeah.
But we did a show at the Abbeville Opera House, built in 1896. It's one of those
Wow.
real old, ornate, just real artsy looking places with the little side boxes up on the wall, just real ornate. 100 and whatever years old. I'm not good at the math, but built in 1896. So the show was about to start, Rick. The curtain was closed, and one of the techs came and got me. He goes, Bees, come here, I got to show you something. Walked me to the middle of the stage, and there was like a 3-foot by 3-foot wooden patch in the stage floor. And he goes, you see that? I go, yeah. He goes, that's where they built the trap door for Harry Houdini's act.
Wow.
So is that not amazing, man? I'm standing there going, holy moly. I'm fixing to walk on stage at a theater that has that kind of history to it. Burns and Allen did shows there. The freaking Marx Brothers did shows there. But so one, there's pressure there. I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to use good posture when I walk out there tonight.
You probably should.
But also it struck me. I'm like, man, that is a strong rider in your contract. And for people who don't know, the rider is what we have in our contract that has the gear we need, the sound, the lights, the stuff. The brown M&M story you hear about.
Did you need like a parachute just in case that opened?
That's a rider, right? But I thought, man, you see, my rider has like some fancy bottled water, maybe a fruit tray. And I'm thinking, you've got to have some clout to have your rider that goes, yeah, I'll come gig at your place, but you're going to have to cut a trap door in the freaking floor. I'm like, man. Oh, and get this, upstairs there are all these catacombs in the place, and they had a bunch of memorabilia, a bunch of framed pieces of art and things that folks had written. There was a vaudeville guy that I think it was like in 1912 maybe, had written a piece that said, if you need a microphone to perform vaudeville, you need to get out of the business. It says, if you can't reach the back row without a microphone, you have no business. It says the microphone's like a sheet of glass between you and the audience. And I'm like, well, they had pretty lousy microphones back then.
They did.
But isn't that wild? That was pretty hardcore. If you can't do it without a mic, get off the stage.
Get out of there. Oh, my God.
Abbeville Opera House, Abbeville, South Carolina.
Built in 1896.
1896, man. It had so much history in it, and probably ghosties.
Oh, I guarantee it. Well, speaking about opera houses, how many times have you been on the Grand Ole Opry? My notes say 25 times that you've appeared on the Grand Ole Opry.
Which is a blessing. You know, the freaking Grand Ole Opry, who knew that I'd get to do that? Way back in old-timey days when I was a big deal in Nashville and was working blue, they would not hire me because their contention was that their audience would see rid of that. Have I got you still?
Yeah, I got you, man. Go ahead.
That's the Opry calling me to hush my mouth. Anyway, so their position was that if people saw me at the Opry and then went to Zanies in Nashville and saw me and saw a completely different show and were offended, they were afraid that their clientele would feel like they were set up by that, which I can see their angle now. But back then, dude, I was offended. So I came this close to doing an album called Banned from the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, man.
But I didn't, and now I'm tickled because now they love me. I work clean now.
Yeah.
And now they like me. And so I did appearance number 25 week before last. Number 25. Number 26 is booked for July the 30th.
Wow.
So it is such an adventure doing that. The history and just the aura in there and just the vibe is absolutely amazing. And this is the 100th anniversary year.
Yeah, it is.
So this entire year is the anniversary, the 100-year celebration, and they're selling out. There's 4,000 plus people in there when it is sold out. It is amazing.
Wow.
There's 3 levels of people just going straight up in the air in front of you, and it is a powder keg.
Man,
It
I
is
can only
amazing,
imagine.
dude. And they have that big old circle. I say big, I guess about 10 feet around, I guess, in the middle of the stage with the wood from the original Grand Ole Opry in there. And that wood is soft and spongy now. It is so many years old, but it is so cool to hear you introduced and to go out there to the roar of 4,000 people and stand in that circle to perform. So, and it's pretty neat the way they do it, man. It's they will send me a contract going, okay, we want you to get here at so-and-so time. You'll go up at so-and-so time. We want you to do 11 minutes. And I go, okay, cool. So
exactly.
I'll get my, well, you see, it's a broadcast show.
Oh, that's
and
true.
They, as you know about
radio.
that stuff, they have to do hard breaks. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to go up right before the headliner, or either the second one before the headliner, in the honey spot toward the end of the show, because they sometimes need an adjustment in the time. So they'll send me things that do 11 minutes. I'll get there, go in the artist entrance, go to dressing room 6, and which has been my dressing room every time. And they will then come by and go, oh yeah, we need you to do 9 minutes.
Okay, no problem.
and see, they use me like that in part because the singers have to do their full 3-minute songs. And I can adjust my set in 30-second increments. So then it'll be 2 minutes before I go up. I'm standing in the wing, and they'll go, all right, do 13 minutes. And I'm like, good.
Wow.
You know, and they'll go, all right, look, it's 8:36 or 8:42, do 13 minutes. There's a clock at the back of the room. You can see it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not wearing my glasses.
No pressure.
Plus I got to do math and remember which number it is. So here's what I do. Here's an insider's pro tip for y'all. The orchestra is still on stage during my set, sitting beside me. And I have the piano player, Rick, hit one note, just one little ding at 1 minute left that comes out only through the little floor monitor in front of me. So the rest of the audience, nobody else can hear it but me and the people just, the guitar player right behind me or whatever. But he'll do that one little note, and that way I don't have to squint and look at the clock and try to wait. Okay, now 3:37.
I don't have to do any math. That pesky math,
Yeah. So that's it. So that's the way I handle that. So, but I worked with a bunch of cool people, man. Trace Atkins, Kelsey Ballerini, Vince Gill. Oh, I was in the back hallway, and one of the backup singers for Vince Gill comes up to me and is telling me that she took a stand-up comedy class. And that she's gonna do some stand-up comedy off in her spare time. And I go, well, that's really cool. And I had not met her. I go, well, what do you do here? She goes, well, I sing with Vince Gill. And I said, man, I'd love to meet him someday. She goes, you never met Vince Gill? And I went, no. She said, come with me. And she drugged me to his dressing room, and he was sitting in there with the door open, tuning like a $7 million fancy guitar with gold and diamonds and platinum all inlaid in it. And so I'm kind of intimidated, and I sort of tap on the door and I go, hey, brother, can I step inside? And he said, that's why the door's open. And I thought that was one of the coolest things to hear.
Yeah.
So I walk in there and I go, and I'm prepared to go, hey, I'm Killer Bees, man. I'm a big fan, congratulations on all your successes. I walk in the door. I go, hey, man, I'm Killer. And that got that far. He goes, yeah, I know, man. Thank you for all the years of making us laugh. And that blew me away that Vince Gill was trying to compliment me. And I was like, holy moly. So now I'm just trying to be buddy. So I say to him, dude, how much fun is it being in the Eagles? And he said to me, Bees, you got to ask harder questions. So I thought, so I thought just a second and I go, okay, man, what color dress is Amy Grant wearing tonight?
Yeah, exactly.
He goes, it sure is fun being in the Eagles, man. They are really great. So when I went on stage right before him that night, I told that story, and the audience loved it too. When I went, Amy, the Eagles are really, really fun. So, but he was great, man. So anyway, so I get to do that kind of stuff there, and they have great popcorn.
Yeah.
Backstage, depending on which lady makes it. There's two ladies that
Oh
do
my
the
gosh.
popcorn making. One of them uses too much salt.
Yeah.
Okay. But if the one who doesn't use too much salt in there, it's the best popcorn in the whole world. So, and sometimes there's parties. I got to eat part of Ricky Skaggs' birthday cake one time.
Did he know?
So, yeah, oh yeah. Oh, the cake was like 9 feet long. So anyway, so that's a fun gig, and man, people come from all over the world.
Oh
To
yeah.
be there, and it's the easiest gig that I do because the audience have invested time and money, to be there, and they want every word out of every performer's mouth to score, and you can tell they really, really are pumped up to be there. So once again, a heck of an honor, and next appearance is July 30th.
July 30th. Get your tickets now. Now, Friday, May the 30th at 7 p.m., you're hosting a show called the Moonshiner Mash-In.
Oh, yeah.
At Adventure Distilling Company in Cosby, Tennessee. And if you don't know where Cosby is, man, you need to go hang out in Cosby for at least a few minutes. I think that's about all you can get, though.
In a nutshell, yeah, it's on the back side of the mountain that overlooks the Pigeon Forge area.
Yep,
it
exactly.
It is east of Pigeon Forge. Pigeon Forge exit is 407. The exit I take off of 40 when I go to Cosby is, I think, 435 or either 437.
Yeah, so I accidentally made it through there one time.
Well.
Me and my wife drove around the mountain and stuff, and I looked at her and I was like, that just said Cosby. Bees is around here somewhere, I'm sure.
Right. Dude, and it's gorgeous here. But the Mash-In, this is our third time to do it. It's the Killer Bees Moonshiner Mash-In. It's in celebration of the Discovery Channel TV show Moonshiners. And if folks have not seen that, the gist of that show is the Discovery Channel has film crews that follow teams of hillbillies cooking illegal hooch and selling it and hiding from the police on camera. So
what could go wrong?
What could go wrong, man? So anyway, myself and some of the cast members of the program do this show. I will be there. I will do my entire stand-up set. I'll bring my opening act, Dan Whitehurst from Nashville. He'll open. I'll do my full hour-length set, and then Digger Manus, Mark Ramsey, Kelly Williamson, and J.B. Rader will join me on stage, and we do question and answer and storytelling. Now, Mark and Digger, that's the two guys that I work with on the show. They, as teenagers, Rick, were the steel hands for the infamous Popcorn Sutton. Because they're big country folks, and Popcorn Sutton was little like me. And they could carry in one trip into the woods to the steel site as much gear as it would take Popcorn 5 or 6 trips back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
So that's their lineage. J.B. Rader was Popcorn's actual partner in his moonshine operation. So those three are an encyclopedia of distilling. And that's the three guys that have taught me how to make moonshine. But the Moonshiner Mash-In, people come from all over the world to see that, Rick. It is we can see a lot of people there. And in addition to the guys I mentioned that'll be on stage with me, we've invited other cast members as well. So there'll be several of the people who have been on the show. And the show, by the way, we're just now gearing up and filming season 15, which is a
Gosh.
long run
Yeah.
on a show like that. And it's season 10 for me, which blows me away. I cannot believe that I have been doing that for 10 years. They've taught me, I never thought I would know how to make a moonshine still and make moonshine,
That
Rick.
was like a
They've
last
taught
thing,
me.
wasn't it?
Oh, they've taught me how to build a still, how to mash in, how to do the run. And there's so much chemistry, it's intriguing. There's chemistry and physics involved in and I quote, covert distillation of non-taxed artisan spirits at a non-disclosed location.
Yeah.
So
That is so hard to say. I'm glad you can do it because there's no way I'm
and
getting
I
that
tell you
out.
what I tell you what I learned. The word hillbilly means a genius in overalls with a spit cup. And I kid you not, not being facetious, man. These cats are brilliant. They literally are chemists. They're physics. They can fabricate stuff. Absolutely an amazing bunch of people. The mountain folk, just looking at them from a distance, you would want to think down on them. But you get to meet them and deal with them. They are absolutely amazing.
Yeah, Mark and Digger,
Tickets,
those guys are just awesome.
they're hilarious.
I've met
man.
those guys at bluegrass festivals before, and they're just tremendous people. I mean, some of the best guys you'd ever meet.
And they are wide open too.
Oh, yeah.
So, tickets are at killerbees.com, by the way. Tickets and info for that. And that's spelled BEAZ because we didn't know any better. So.
Well, okay. Well, now that we've got all all that stuff out of the way, let's just talk about you, man. What's been going on with you? I haven't been able to talk to you in forever, man.
Right.
You send me a text message every morning.
Yes, I do.
Exactly. Do you know the exact time?
It's not an exact time.
It's not
because
exact.
Sometimes it's late in the day, sometimes it's early in the morning, depending on where I am in America and if I had worked the night before or if it's a travel day. So, and when I told you I was going to send them, I told you I send them out daily. I didn't say every morning.
That's exactly right.
Sometimes it's in the evening.
Now, what's the content of these text messages that you send me, young man?
See, and I don't want to sound like a bragger or anything, Rick, but you did ask, and this is a true thing. I send devotionals out. God has been really good to me in my life and changed my life several years ago, and I've experienced the peace that comes with that, the joy that comes with that, the discernment, the wisdom. And I like to share that with people because, folks need to hear about it. They need to know the word is real. And you were one of the people that I happily and humbly send devotionals to.
Somebody called him again.
There. Yeah, that was
okay.
A different one. Somebody wants to know where their devotional is this morning. It's a really man. Yeah. But it means a lot to me to get to send those. It's a growing thing for me to do that. And I love you and I love a lot of other people, and I try to take care of them like that. We have a really good church in Mobile where I live. And by the way, I've been on the prayer list every Sunday for the entire 10 years I've been on Moonshiners. I have the world record.
We got to pull him out of there, boys and girls.
Yeah, I have the world record for that. But we're a little non-denominational church. We're not a hoity-toity dress-up church. We're not a put you down for who you are or what you do church. Our motto is love them where they're at. Let God get them to where he needs them to be.
That's right.
And so people come in there and change their lives every Sunday. Man, we see miracles every time we're in there. A lot of people have come out of addiction that are in our church, have come out of incarceration, and we get the absolute joy of seeing lives being changed.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it is really, really a cool thing. True story. True story. You got time?
Of course.
Oh,
We
true
got all
story.
kinds of time for you, bees.
A lady at our church who had come out of addiction, had been incarcerated, changed her life, was doing great for 5 years, got pulled over for having a tail light out.
Mm.
And the trooper goes, "Give me your license. I got to run them. I'm not going to write you a ticket. Just get your tail light fixed." Went back, ran her license, and found an old warrant from like 10 years ago,
man.
8 or 10, and they put her in the penitentiary. Okay. So a group of us from the church said, "Well, let's go visit. Let's don't let her just sit there," because we already knew she was witnessing and mentoring people there, but let's go lift her up, because we knew she was doing that for others. So my wife and I, the lovely Miss Terry, corporate, as we call her, and some people from the church went to the penitentiary. And I bought lunch for the group. It was in the lunchroom. It was all female inmates and their families. And because you can't take money into a penitentiary, I had to use a credit card. The inmate girl that was working the lunchroom, Rick, comes over with our tray, and I'm signing the ticket, and she's looking down at it, and she said, "Are you Killer Bees?" And I said, "Well, yes, I am." And I swear to you, in a loud voice, she goes, "You used to date my mama."
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I bet that went over great, didn't it?
It was great. Every head in the place went, "Huh?" My wife was like, "Huh?"
Even Terry was like, "Hey."
It was all I could do not to go, "Exactly how old are you?"
Yeah, exactly. So, and when's your birthday?
Right.
Oh man, let me tell you, Killer, you've led a charmed life, brother. You've had a lot of success in this world, and I hope you have a ton more. And I know the afterlife's already taken care of for you. And I'll just say this: it's really cool to see that text come across every morning, because that makes me stop and look at that text and say, what does he want to say to me today?
Right.
And it means a lot. And I'm sure it means a lot to a lot of other people, but I appreciate it more than you know.
Well, I thank you for that, man. And it's amazing how pertinent those devotionals are.
Oh yeah.
I'll open my devotional book, look, and I go, "Wow, how'd you know that?" How did the person who wrote this, whatever year it was, and put this book together, how did they know that on this day I would look at that and go, "That was me yesterday"?
Man, I needed that
thing that this tells me quit doing.
That's exactly right.
So
that's exactly right, man, brother. Yeah, I knew I met you for a reason 20 odd years ago.
Yeah. Same here, man.
Even though we were hanging out in a distillery.
Yeah. In the
God can pop up anywhere.
Man, we were at a distillery doing a meet and greet, and the little communion cups that they use at church is what they use at the distilleries for their samplings. And so I found a box that had communion cups stapled on it, and went and had my picture made in front of a $5,000 5,000 gallon copper steel, and sent it to my pastor.
Oh, I'm sure that went over well, didn't
he loved it.
I bet he did. He knows who he's dealing with every day.
Yeah. Well, man, I don't even drink anymore, and he knows that too. And he knows that. And here's the thing about it. I've had a few people send me messages on Facebook trying to shame me for being on a TV show about moonshine, but it gives me a bigger audience to tell my testimony to.
Your
people
story.
Will come to my shows everywhere I go. Fans of the TV show come to that show, and I get to give glory to God during that show. And there's people that need to hear it.
That's exactly right. Every day.
Right. Jesus didn't hang out with the church people.
No, he didn't.
He went to the bars. He hung with the robbers, the thieves, the prostitutes, And so I have a megaphone that I never dreamed I would have, Rick.
I know.
And so it amazes me, and I try to give credit every show I do, and just let people know, man, you can change right this minute.
Exactly.
Tomorrow can be the best day of your life. So
that's right.
So, I'm thankful. I'm grateful. I'm a heart attack survivor. You remember when I was going through that.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah, I had 20 heart attacks in 26 days from 40 years of eating road food. So I got stents and stuff in. So I'm good now, and I've got a mission.
Yeah,
And I'm
exactly.
super funny. I'm going to say that too, y'all. 43 years of writing, and I'm going to say it again, stupidly funny stuff. So it's a good show. I don't offend people. The comics that say if you're not offending people, you're not doing your job, in my opinion, are wrong. It's
Yeah.
about lifting people up and putting a smile on their face and making their stomach hurt from laughing so hard without offending. It's not a pointed act.
That's right.
So anyway, the Mash In.
Yeah, exactly.
When is that? May 30th.
That is May 30th at 7 p.m. Okay.
At
Adventure Distilling.
Adventure Distilling. KillerBeast.com, BEAZ has all that info.
Exactly. Brother, I love you. Thanks for sitting down with me today,
Thanks for having me on.
Hey,
thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Anytime we can help you out doing anything, you just let me know. Okay.
I sure will, brother. Love you.
All right. Love you too, man. See ya.